So we will discuss the logical case of 3D arrays. So let's start with just the numbers, any numbers, integers, let's say 1, 2, 3. Now, in terms of arrays, if I want to build a hierarchy, like for the sake of generalization, can I say that individual elements can be considered as zero dimensional, okay, zero dimensional arrays, okay. So then moving one level beyond, 1D array is an array of 0D arrays. Then 2D array is an array of 1D arrays, and 3D array is an array of 2D arrays, right? So now when we are writing a program in Java, when we are declaring or creating such an array, just like we have studied 1D array, 2D array, similarly in case of 3D array, there will be three pairs of square bracket after the data type. So let's say it's an integer 3D array. So there will be three square brackets after int. Let's call it, for example, complex array. Now in this case, you only have to mention the leftmost dimension. What does this mean? This means that this 3D array, complex array, consists of two 2D arrays. Because 3D array is an array of 2D arrays. So it consists of two 2D arrays. So that is the only information that is needed when you're declaring it. How many 2D arrays does it consist of? Two. Now, when we are creating those 2D arrays, which are a part of this 3D array, then the next question will be, what about the 2D array? So let's say the first 2D array consists of three, okay, or let's say two elements. And okay, let's say we'll keep three elements in the first 2D array. And first array within this 2D array, first 1D array within this 2D array will be of four elements. Second will be with two elements or three elements, let's say, and the third one will have two elements. Okay, and the second 2D array will have uh, two elements in it. Okay, and each one of them will be one D array. So let's say the first element is the 1D array with three elements. Second element is the 1D array with four elements. Okay, so that's it. Now we'll take a look at the code implementation of this concept. So now take a look at the code. So public class complex jagged array, public static void main string args. Now first thing, as we saw in the illustration, we create a jagged array consisting of two 2D arrays. Notice the three pairs of square brackets, and here on the right hand side new int, we only have to mention the leftmost dimension. Now we'll create the first 2D array. So the first 2D array is complex array 0. There are two 2D arrays. So one will be complex array 0, another will be complex array 1. Complex array 0 has three rows or three 1D arrays inside it, and complex array 1, that is the second 2D array, has two 1D arrays or two rows inside it. And then we create each one of those rows. So complex array 0, 0 is new int 4. So the first row or first 1D array inside the first 2D array consists of four elements. Similarly, second one is of length 3, third one is of length 2, as we had seen in the illustration. And similarly, we create the second 2D array as well. Okay. Now we'll completely modularize it and we'll go through two functions. Now we'll pass this array to a function. So just like we had seen in the previous program in case of 3D arrays, sorry, in case of 2D arrays, the previous video that we had seen. So basically, this is how you pass an array to a function. Int three pairs of square bracket, because we are passing a 3D array to the function, and it will be public because outside world has to be able to access this method. and static because it's in the same class as main, and it has to be called from main is static, so this has to be static as well. It does not return anything, so it's void. Now inside this we'll just fill it with serial values starting with 1 and filling in row major order. Okay, so we'll use a triple nested loop for int I equal to 0, I less than arr dot length I plus plus. Now, if you pause this video and you tell me what is arr dot length in this case, I'm passing complex array to this. So, what is complex array dot length? You can pause, think about it, and then unpause. So, the answer is 2, right? Because that is the leftmost dimension that we always have to fill. What is the length of the 3D array? 2, because it consists of two 2D arrays. Okay, so I equal to 0, I less than arr dot length I plus plus. Basically, it asks how many 2D arrays does it have? 2D arrays. Or you can say that I iterates over 2D arrays. Okay. Then inside this, for in j equal to 0, j less than arr I dot length j plus plus. Now we are talking about the 2D arrays over here. So arr I dot length, that means what is the, okay, so you are asking how many 1D arrays in the ith, okay, in the ith 2D array. How many 1D arrays in the ith 2D array? So effectively what we are doing is basically j is used to iterate over the 1D arrays. Okay. So now for int k equal to 0, k less than arr I j dot length. So arr I, now we are into the 2D array, j we are into the 1D array, dot length. So now the length of the 1D array, right? So finally k iterates inside. Okay, so k is the iterator inside the 1D array, or in better words, I can also say that it is used to iterate through the 1D array. Okay, so k is the loop variable for that. Okay, you can write it over here instead. Fine. So we are assigning them serial values. So arr ijk equal to value plus plus, and we are printing it simultaneously when we are assigning it. Okay, so now, and again a new line to just make it more presentable. Now displaying the complex array. So here I have used slightly different loop variables. So for int array index equal to 0, array index is used to iterate over the 2D arrays, just like we had done with I. Okay, array index less than arr dot length, array index plus plus. So 2D array index plus 1, it will print nicely. Then for int row, now once we are inside the 2D array, we can use the normal matrix like notation or matrix like terminology inside the 2D array. So for int row equal to 0, row less than arr array index dot length row plus plus, and it will print properly with all the square brackets and all the proper formatting. Okay, but the core concept is the hierarchy in which you access was the 3D array. So inside the 3D array, you iterate over the 2D arrays. Inside the 2D array, you iterate over the 1D arrays. And then the innermost loop actually is used to visit every element within the 1D array. Okay. So this is an alternative way. Array index row column instead of ijk that we discussed over here. That is another way to understand this. I hope you have understood this well. Let's run this once. So these are the values that get assigned serially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the row major order. And then, so this is the first 2D array within the 3D array. Then this is the second 2D array within the 3D array 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So overall, this is our entire 3D array, and this is how we can understand it the way it is displayed. So 2D array 1, row 0 is this, row 1 is this, row 2 is this, and 2D array 2, row 0 is this, and row 1 is this. I hope the concept was clear to you. Do post in the comments if any queries. Feel free to explore the channel. This channel has videos on C, Python, Java, and even some ML shorts. Most of the content was as per the student requirements. So do share it with your friends or juniors. If you found this content useful, do like and subscribe. And if there is any CS, AI, ML, or data science topic that you would like explained, just drop it in the comments. Thank you.